Good morning. Today's lecture is number 2 in the series of So You Want to Be a Tarot Reader. Today we are going to go over a couple of different things. The first one is going to be choosing your cards. Now to start with, I'd like to have everybody start with a Rider-Waite quick and easy deck. However, as you advance, you'll be interested in using other decks. Remember that there's no one right, wrong, or way to have a deck of cards. You just kind of need to go with the one that speaks with you. Your questions to ask are, do you like the cards? Do you connect with them? Do they have good symbolizing? Do they fit? I mean, decks are different. Some of them are this size, and some of them are this size. Some of them are even other sizes. Get to know the cards. Take a look at them. Look them up. Do some research. What are the symbologies? What's the deck trying to say? Does it fit in with what you know? By the time you finish this course, you should not need a tarot book, so you should be able to just pick the cards up and look at them and kind of decide if that's the one that you want to use. Use your intuition, use your own gifts, and there's several different kinds of meanings on the cards that you'll discover as you go along. Keep it simple. Sometimes long spreads are kind of confusing, and try not to overwhelm yourself or put too much into the spread itself. Sometimes you don't even need a spread if you're just doing readings online or something, and just kind of go with what works to you. Remember that cards do have uprights and reversals, and they are both equally important. The reversal will only lessen the power of the card in its upright condition. And another thing to keep in mind when doing the readings is to not keep asking the same question, because to ask the same question over and over again kind of makes it weigh you down the answer that you get, and so it's going to start telling you just what it's thinking you want to hear, and it won't be something that is really positive for you. Some people say to not let anyone touch your deck. Other people say it's okay. That's kind of up to your own personal judgment. Personally, it doesn't really matter to me because it's just a deck of cards. One other thing was I personally, prefer to just kind of do a question answer type format, and it seems to work well for me. It's up to you whether you want to pull out a big spread or if you're willing to just do question answer type format. Another thing, let's see, caring for them, try to keep them put up, obviously, when you're not using them. And if a deck falls on the floor, you might consider putting that deck away for the day and using a different one. Again, that's up to personal preference and up to you. Alright, so let's move on to the question at hand. One thing you might have noticed is I am presently using called a New Vision deck, and what that is it is a 180 reversal of the Rider-Waite. It's the traditional Waite format, but it's like looking at the other side of the picture that's hidden from you before. It seems to work pretty good for me. I kind of like it a lot, and it's probably one of my favorite decks, just to kind of look at the other side of the card that was hidden before. So you may notice that as I use my deck for reference. Trying to find the right card here, sorry. The first one we're going to go over is called the Fool. Now, your Fool and my Fool are going to look a little different because mine's looking at the other side. Okay, this is key 0. You can see the 0 here. Or some would say that is a bubble. Its element, of course, is air because look at his wings. And this is, an innocent, youthful person at the start of a new journey. Although they look like they're getting ready to fall over a cliff, the unknown holds no fear for them, for they know they'll just sprout wings and fly over their obstacles and trials. By their side, they have their little doggy, which is their true companion. Alright, when this card comes up, especially if it's the first one in the reading, you know that the person is asking the wrong question or for the wrong reason, and they're not going to get what they're looking for. This is an innocent, blessed person at the start of a new journey. Although they face the direction that is not known, they hold no fear in their heart. There are many obstacles along life's way, both good and bad, which by the knapsack we see that they carry. And the fool is smart enough to realize that it's not so much the obstacles that matter or that need carried as much as the learning and what he does with it, whether he learns, let goes, and moves forward, or he chooses it a burden to carry. You cannot move forward clinging to a burden of the past. If you did, your knapsack would get pretty awful heavy. And the fool is a virgin. This is a baby. This is somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of experience with anything, but the world's the limit, the sky's the limit, and they're going to go where they want to go because they have no fear. They are blessed with a true friend, that little doggy, and they are bound with a bell around their waist. They are bound to their task and journey. They do not fear change. They do not fear uh, anger of others or other situations around them with this particular card. They do not, they do not have a set path. They got that feather in their cap. They're lighthearted. They're just ready to go and ready to see what the journey holds. Now in the reverse for me, he kind of looks like he's falling off that cliff, right? The fool's made some bad choices, and he's starting to have to learn from them the hard way. And the little doggy kind of looks like he's saying, "I told you so." you know, this is something, in the reverse position. Sometimes we have to have the freedom to make mistakes in order to learn from them and in order to grow from them. And as such, then we're able to right back up again and go along our journey. You'll never learn how to walk without taking a few falls. Now, let's go into the symbolism. The fool is obviously a youth. He can be a physical youth, an emotional youth, or a spiritual youth. He wears what is called the fool's cap and the fool's staff, and that means that he has the fool's license. He is blessed with the ability to be able to speak the truth and not have to disguise it, because everybody knows he's a fool, so he can speak what he's on his mind, and everybody's like, haha, that's so funny. He can be either male or female because he kind of looks like both in the card. He is the very breath and the very essence of life itself. He is just starting out on his journey, and he has no fear in his heart. Let's see. A fool's paradise is a state of blissful illusion. He makes his own future, his own reality. And his errand will be productive in learning and growth, but it will not be productive as far as taking a lot of things with him. He will rise to the occasion with a feather in his cap, and he will not let fear hold him back. Let's see, what else? That white rose is his virginic nature. The sack is where he stores his experiences. He faces the direction of the northwest, which is the direction that is not known. That's kind of what the symbolism there is. There is an eagle on his sack. If you break out your little magnifying glass, it is right there. And what that is showing his freedom. He runs to the mountains, and he lets nothing hold him back. Let's see, did I miss anything? Okay. Now just for divinatory meanings. New beginnings. Expect the unexpected. There's definitely some influence around you that's going to have a significant effect on the path that you're going. In my card, it shows a mountain, a volcano exploding. In yours, it'll show snow-capped mountains, which are abstract thought. He lacks experience, but he also lacks affection. He's a cold type because he hasn't learned it yet on his journey. He is very protected and watched over from above, and he he realizes that life is just an endless journey with endless possibilities. This can represent an issue with your place of work, someone around you who has Peter Pan syndrome, not committing. Um, this person is a real maverick. They have a drive and an eccentric, just motivation to move forward. They can at times be a little irresponsible or cold, and that's not something that is kind of their true nature. It's just kind of, they don't really think things out and they don't really have experience. They might make innocent, kind of frivolous mistakes, but it's kind of a learning experience for them. Let's see. The person in the reading when this comes up is a dreamer. Be really careful in your decision making with this person, because this person is inexperienced, and though they have the best ideas and the best motivation to try, and it's just the greatest for them, that doesn't mean that it will be for everyone else. The Fool is the untapped potential in us all. Let's see, new beginnings. In the reverse, it's kind of showing that you didn't look before you leap and you made a bad decision. This was a hasty, kind of reckless decision on which you may have avoided some responsibility. Feeling non-committal, losing your direction, a drifter, someone who's unable to connect with those around them and doesn't listen to good advice. Wasted energy. This can represent in the reverse position some kind of mixed or confused, topsy-turvy, all of a sudden type relationships. This is because simply of irresponsibility, fear of commitment, also known as Peter Pan syndrome. It can represent feeling betrayed, feeling someone who acted impulsively or with a lack of responsibility has kind of made a sacrifice in your relationship. Or it can also show that you're with somebody who's great at starting projects but not so great at finishing them or completing them, because they get kind of caught up by the next shiny and they move on to the next thing. And anything that gets their attention that's shiny is their motivating factor. This is a total life change in the reverse. It could be a forced change. It's something that is not so positive for you in the beginning, but it'll be worth it in the end. Everything is turned topsy-turvy, and you feel really discontented or at unease for the way things that in your life are presently going. This is something that you can get control back again, but it's going to be a bit of a difficult journey to do so. This concludes Lesson 2, and I look forward to seeing you again for Lesson 3. Have a great day.